The design is complicated by the fact that we're using just a basic amount of tools, but we're also using materials that can be found right off the shelf and require a minimum amount of cutting. That's what makes it easy. Well, we're just here at Home Depot and we're checking out what we might need. First thing we're going to look at is the handy panels. 1/2-inch Baltic here. And for the trim, we're going to use poplar. We've got it here 3/4 of an inch thick, 1.5 inches, 2.5. That's probably all we'll need. You can see the prices here, Canadian dollars. To get started, we have to get some basic measurements out of the way. And one is the total width. If we measure from this side all the way over, it is just a little over 53 inches. One thing we have to look at is that the armrests actually stick out about 1/2 inch further. If we measure between the armrests, it is just around 52. With 9-inch overhang from the seat rail, 24 inches comes just to this little notch here. Measure to the back, 24 is pretty much exactly to the back door. We'll add the 9 inches, so 33 plus 24. So we'll add that, so 33 plus the 24, and we can see where we come here. We're almost at the seat, and we're just above the rail. We're coming about here on the rail, so enough for a leg to come down and hook in here. And these rails are important for our structure. I have a swivel seat, so yours might look a little bit different. The rail would be down here, but it doesn't make any difference, just makes a longer leg. Those are the basic measurements we need. Our bed frame platform is going to be 53 wide. It's going to narrow down to 52 where the door handles are. It'll be made of 3 panels, each of them being 24 inches, so a total of 72 inches plus a bit. So I think we're ready to go in and look at the materials that we can use. I went over to Home Depot and I bought one of the panels. It is 1/2 inch and it is 24 by 48, so 2 by 4 feet. And I also bought some of the poplar. These are both 3/4 of an inch thick, and this one, although it's called 1 by 3, is 2.5 inches wide. This one is 1 by 2 and it is 1.5 inches wide. So these are the materials that we're going to try to use. And the only thing we're going to get cut at Home Depot are the big sheets. And let's look at how we should cut them. I'm making a half-size model of this just to work out all the fasteners and things. So here we've got 3 panels, which are 12 by 24. So these represent the 24 by 48s. So one of them won't have to be cut at all. The second one is going to have to be cut right down the middle. And the third one will be cut 1/3 up, so 8 inches and 16 crossways. And we'll have those all cut at Home Depot. And I would suggest that you take your own tape measure and measure it exactly when you get there. And measure from both ends. And tell them, I want that cut right down the middle. So our other one is going to be 8 inches. And in the scale, that would be 4. So this represents the 8 inches and the 16 inches. When we come back from wherever you're getting your material, and it's cut, we're going to have 2 square pieces, which should be approximately 24 by 24, which will be our 2 panels that pull out to make the front. Comes out. And we'll also have our back, which is one 8-inch piece and another 16-inch piece. This is what folds up to make your couch, and it folds down to make the bed. And so now we have 3 pieces, 24 inches each, so a total of 72 inches. Now we just have to figure out how we're going to join them all together. So now let's look at our center panel. We know that this is 48 inches across. Okay? And we have our 2 side pieces, which are 2.5 inches and 2.5 inches. So if we add that together, 2.5 plus 48 plus 2.5, 53. Exactly what we need. No cutting required. We just have to remember that the first 9 inches is going to have to be cut back 1/2 inch so that it won't hit the seat. But we do that with our jigsaw. No problem. The next 2 panels, we have to figure out where we're going to put them. And the idea is that this will hinge up and the front panels are going to be stored underneath the main panel. And then they will slide out. So we'll pull them out and they'll have a clip on them that they'll lock onto the rail. Okay? Now these are going to have the legs on them. So the idea is the legs will be underneath in front of this rail, folded up, so that when this is pulled out and hooked on, you have to reach underneath and pull the legs down. So let's hide those under there. Now, this back panel has to hinge this way so that it is 8 inches high, the distance of 2 cushions, and we also want it to be able to fold all the way over like this for storage. Our back has to fold up to make the couch, but we also want it to fold all the way over like this, so that when this is in storage, we want all of the panels to be flat, so it takes up the minimum amount of space. So we're going to have to look at what kind of hinges we can use. And what I was going to use is piano hinge. This is an undrilled piano hinge, which means there's no holes in it at all, which is kind of nice. You can put your holes wherever you want. We'll have to work on how we can put a hinge at this point. We also need a hinge at this point. This panel also needs to be able to open up like this so that we can pull the other 2 panels out. So it also has to be hinged at this point. And then we have to figure out how we are going to pull this out and have the legs hidden underneath. That's the basic design concept. And that's why I'm using the model or the maquette, so that I can work through the details of how it's going to function. So you can see there's lots of work still to do. And as soon as I figure it out, I'll let you know. So thanks for coming by, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.